lighting isn't the best in here, but just wanted to kind of show you my woman corner. You know how men have their men caves? Well, I have a woman corner. But here's large Marge. You can't see her full abdomen there, but she's going on a diet. Her abdomen's huge. Yep, I have been feeding her well. So that's Theraphosa sturmi. And there's a shadow of my Theraphosa alpophysis. There's the Euophyllus species green. There's my Ephobopus. The Ephobopus muranus made that cool tunnel down into way down. Well, sorry you can't see that, but way there down at the bottom of the enclosure. This is my shelf full of my smaller teas here, like that. I'm going to go over here. There's my other Theraphosa sturmi, large Marge the second. I got to come up with a new name for her, he or she. I don't know the sex on it for real. A few teas here. There's my Grammostola porteri. There's the Euophyllus species blue. I can't really see all of these. There's the Acanthoscuria geniculata. Got more teas here. There's the Brachypoma vagans. There's the molt of my Nandu chromatis. There's my tub of hermit crabs. There's 7 of them in there. And there's my larger Grammostola pulchripes. And well, you might not be able to see that with the reflection, but the Ceratogeras brachycephalus. So yeah, this is my little corner here. So yeah, it's where I sit to read books, observe my teas. So yeah, there they all are. So that's my little corner. I do my little adult coloring book things down here, and I may have shown you this before, but it's the spider ones that I do. So yep, that's it. My little corner of the room. I don't have a very big house, so I just make do with what I have. That's why many of my enclosures are, you know, little plastic tubs rather than like vivariums. So there's that. Alright. Someone asked if I could do a molting video here to sex it, and my zoom doesn't work very well on this camera, so I'll just have to do the best I can. But at the very tip of my thumb there's a flap there that's called the spermatoche, and that is the part that you use to sex the tea. If you see a flap there, that's a female. If there's no flap there between the first pair of book lungs, there's 2 pairs of book lungs. Well, the part where you sex the tea is between the first pair. Well, in this photo, in this video, you can't really see all of the book lungs because the tea decided to munch the bottom part of the molt here, so we're missing part of it, but which doesn't do you a whole lot of good, but that's the best I got right now with this one. But look at that. Look how big my Nandu chromatis molt is, and so you know after they molt they get bigger. So she's huge now. So yeah, in fact, you know what, I may have a better molt to show you. Hold on. Okay, here's an old large Marge, Theraphosa sturmi molt, and again at the tip of my thumb there's the spermatoche, the flap that tells you that it's a female. So you can see the book lungs a little bit better. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the flap right there is between the first pair. Now, like I said, if it's a male, that flap wouldn't be there. It'd just be like a line. There would be no flap. So yeah, that's my old Theraphosa sturmi molt. So yeah, she's huge. So I hope that helps for those of you. I don't think I have a good male molt to show you. Let me go see if I can find one. This may not be coming out too well on camera, but this is an old Chromatopoma cyanopubescens molt. This was my boy. he's already passed, but this was his last molt. And between the first pair of book lungs, you could see that there's only a line there. There's no flap. So that was indeed a boy. It's a little, you know, this camera is just not doing it justice, but that's the best I can do, unfortunately. So, yeah, no flap there. Only a line. So, hopefully that helps, guys, for those of you who are trying to learn how to sex your teas. Alright, let's see what's next on the agenda. I just wanted to show you my hermit crab enclosure. If you're not into hermit crabs, then just, you know, fast forward to the next tea footage. But I have 7 hermit crabs in here. I know it looks like there's a lot more in here, but in fact there's a lot of empty shells in here as well. You want to put empty shells in your enclosure full of hermit crabs because they like to change their shells out. They don't like to stay in the same shell all the time because, well, they just like to explore into new shells. Plus they grow, obviously, after they shed their exoskeleton like your arachnids do. So they need a larger shell to grow into. So I have different sizes in here. Let's see. There's that one there has a crab in it. That one does. See, I think all those are empty. That one there, I think. There's 7, like I said. But there's 3 for sure there. 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, there's Ginger. 6 right there. And then the 7th one could be in there. But, let's see. See, that one's empty. So, that's empty. Empty. Yeah. So the only one over here is right there. Oop. So yeah, there's I named her Ginger. Let me get the focus going here. There's Ginger. She's my most sociable hermit crab in my collection. She's willing to come out and say hello more than any of the others. And the best way to hold your hermit crab is with your hand flat out, because if you don't, they're more likely to pinch you, whether it's just to help keep their balance or out of defensiveness, either one. But she's a sweetie. So we'll put her back. Then you'll have a lot of them like this that are very shy, that don't like to come out and say hello. And the last thing you want to do is force a crab out of their shell. That stresses them out tremendously. So you let them come out on their own. You don't force them out. But yeah, that one's shy. And here is Goliath. He's my largest one in my collection. And he is the only one to have pinched me. And of course it had to be the largest one. You just know. Took a hunk out of my thumb. But it was my fault. So I deserved it. But he's semi-shy. I mean, sometimes he'll come out to say hello, but most of the time he just likes to hang out in there. And so, see, if I touch him, sometimes he'll open his claw up like that. Yeah, it depends on his mood. I don't want to take this one off of his limb, but I called this one Tarzan because he's always climbing the trees more than any of the others, hanging upside down or whatever. So that's Tarzan. I named this one Jaws because this one is always ready to not bite, but to pinch. Hasn't pinched me yet, but usually he likes to keep its claw open when I molest it. But surprisingly doesn't have it as open as it normally does. Trying to make a liar out of me. But yeah, that's Jaws. Now this one does have its big claw wide open, so you have to be careful. Being very defensive here. But I haven't named this one yet, so But it was a very beautiful reddish color. Yeah. Okay. And I don't want to disturb this one, but that's Joshua. I named that one out off of a character in the Bible who's very brave. And the reason why I named that one Joshua is because, well, this one has shown no fear whatsoever. Very sociable, very outgoing. So, yeah. So I'm going to do a little maintenance on this enclosure here. Needs the water dishes cleaned out, food dishes cleaned out to prevent mold and mites. So I need to work on that. And I try to change up the enclosure quite a bit, just to give them a little change of scenery, but not to stress them out too much either. This side has a lot of substrate, so it can burrow. They can burrow and molt down there if they wanted to. The substrate on this side isn't as deep, but they have the hide over here. So, alrighty. Well, that's all on the hermit crabs. Back to the spiders. I just thought I'd do a little handling video today. Unfortunately, I have to put off doing my sling feeding video because the crickets I had already died on me. And I didn't have enough of them, so I'll just have to go get me some more crickets and mealworms, baby mealworms. So just bear with me here. So I'm just kind of coming up with like little random stuff here to do. But this is my sweet Bumba Smithy, the Costa Rican zebra. Doing absolutely well. Just kind of giving them a little chance to come out of their enclosure. But yeah, she's never given me a threat posture before. Doesn't mean there won't be a first time, but so far so good. But very, very sweet tea. Just likes to chill on my hand like that. The only teas I'm really only willing to hold, obviously, are the New Worlds, and the ones that are more docile. You know, the ones that aren't too tiny. I have some that are incredibly tiny. I'd rather not hold them until they get just a little bit bigger. But see how sweet this one is. It's got to be a female with this slow growing, is it? Well, Aphonopomas are slow growing anyway, but I suspect this one's a female. But hopefully with the next molt I'll know 100%. Because I think with the last molt I didn't get a very good molt as usual to sex it with. So there's my sweet little Simani. About a 2.5 incher. Maybe a little over. Sweet baby. Well, juvie. Very hair flicky. You might, well, I don't think it's coming out on camera. You could barely see where this one's kicked hairs. But it's not as obvious with this one as it is with my LP. So, just kind of giving you a little update on some of my teas. The sweet ones anyway. Yeah. The hairs on this one isn't so bad. I don't react badly with these hairs as I do with some of the others. But I won't be handling them anyway. They're too skittish. Alright, well that's all of the smaller Simani. Let's go take a look at the larger one. Okay, I was going to handle this Aphonopomas Simani, but I decided against it because when I touched her, she turned around and faced the tongs and started letting her fangs come out a little bit. So I thought, nah, I better leave this one alone. Alright, we'll go see what other tea I'm going to hold. Here's my larger Brekkie Bumba Peloso. She allowed me to handle her. Now she does this, but she's got her chelicerae spread just a little bit. So I do have to watch her carefully, but she usually does that anyway. But she's never, she has not given me like a full-blown threat posture before, but she has slapped like the tongs before. But this time she was being quite catatonic, so she let me pick her up this time. Well, I didn't literally pick her up, I just pushed her onto my hand, but nudged her onto my hand very carefully. But there she is. I got her when she was just like an inch, and I would say she's about, let's see, let me think, 1, 2, she's about 4 inches. So yeah, she's normally sweet. Soon after she molted, she started showing a little attitude, but she's, I think, going back to her sweet self again. But you know, like I said, her chelicerae is barely spread, so I'll just have to keep my hand flat and not use it as a, you know, not to, you know, scare her with it. So just keep it flat. But she's a doll. I love her. Don't you just love those curly hairs? Yeah, and I'm so glad she's a female, because if she ends up being healthy, she can live up to her 20s. So this will be my longest living tarantula. She was one of the first ones I got too. But look at her. She's being a little cautious. She's trying to feel around with her legs there and see, hey, there's nothing there. Oh, there's something there. Isn't she darling though? She's my sweetheart. When she started showing some toot, I was disappointed. I was like, oh no, you're gonna get all defensive on me now. But nah, she's okay now. But I still, just like with all the other teas, I test their moods first, because you never know. You know, one day they'll let you hold them, and another day they want you to back off. So you just have to respect that and keep your distance. And then just try them again another day. But yeah, you could see her chelicerae's a little spread open there, just a little bit. She doesn't actually have her fangs out, but she feels slightly threatened, but not too bad. And like I said before, I do not handle my teas often. And I do not handle all of them. Some of them I do not handle at all. Purely look but don't touch tarantulas, because their hairs are either really bad, or their fangs are huge, or they have potent venom, or they're too runny and too skittish. So those I just leave alone. And I typically don't handle the extra tiny tarantulas either, because if you lose them, it'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack. So I don't want to risk losing the real fast tiny ones, you know. But she usually lets me pet her. See? She's good about that. See that? I'm just petting her. See there? Gotta be very gentle, because that's where all their delicate organs are. It's where her heart is. Her heart's right there. Gotta be very careful. In a tea that had just molted, or a malnourished tarantula, you can easily see the pulse if you look very closely, like it'd be right there. But yeah, you could see it. Alright, well, I just had to show you off for a little bit, sweetheart. Let the people know how you're doing. Okay. So I'm going to put her back. See, even when I do get them out to hold them, I don't hold them for long. Alright, let's see who's next. And here's the first tarantula I ever owned, my Grammostola porteri. She allowed me to hold her today. With these, you never know. And she is no exception. There have been times that she told me to back off. And then there are times like today she was willing. But she's a sweetie. She's my most special tarantula because she was my very first. So this is the normal color form, the grayish colored body with pink highlights and the pink carapace. She's a sweet girl. And let's see if she'll let me pet her. Yep, she will. She's not hair flicky. Grammostolas usually aren't, even though they certainly can. But yeah, I really like her a lot. I got her low to the ground, as you could see, so she's in no danger of being harmed. She's webbing me, look. Look at that, isn't that sweet? The majority of my friends would probably scream if they saw this. They'd have a few nightmares. In fact, back in the day, I used to be afraid of spiders, so I would have screamed bloody murder too. But I respect them, but I'm no longer afraid of them. See how sweet she is today? I have a 2-year-old son. I'm not introducing him to the spiders quite yet because I want him to fully understand that these creatures need to be, you have to be careful with them, and you have to highly respect them. You need to understand them. So I need to make sure he can understand fully before I introduce him to these. Because even though these tarantulas are not deadly, they certainly can pack a punch with their bites, some worse than others, as you know. So I want my son to understand that these are creatures you need to respect. Do your research on them. Understand their behavior. So he is not aware of them yet. So I think in about a couple of years or so I will introduce him. Alright. I just wanted to show you off too, girly. It never gets old looking at tarantulas, does it? I may not comment on every video I watch of you guys doing your tarantula vids, but I do watch them, and I'm definitely all about thumbs up. On rare occasions I'll dislike a video, but it is very rare. The only ones I will dislike are the ones where I see you actually abusing your animals, and thankfully the majority of the people I watch do not abuse their animals, but occasionally I've seen some out there that do. But you know, like the ones that intentionally just poke and prod and poke and prod and poke and prod just to get a rise out of them, or you know, just handling them very carelessly, and you know, stuff like that really turns me off. But thankfully you guys are very good with taking care of your animals, so you get thumbs up from me. I just don't always say anything. I'm just like, hey, I really enjoy that, and then thumbs up. And then I'll just move on to the next one. But sometimes I do say something. But I do really enjoy them, and so please keep posting them, guys. Alright, we'll put, I named her Hero. And so we'll put Hero up and see who else will let me hold them today. Alright. Here's my Euophyllus species green. She is, well, I've never sexed this tea before, but I suspect she's a female. She's never molted for me, but I would think that at this size it'd be a female. But look what she did to our water dish, of course. So, I'm going to see how long it takes for her to figure out that the door is open, because these tarantulas really love to explore, and she will come out on her own without prodding in many cases. So we'll see how she does here. Just kind of cleaning out her water dish here real quick. This one I definitely don't hold as often, only because they're very runny. I have to really be on my toes at letting her run around, because if she gets spooked, she'll bolt. They can be a little skittish, but usually just would rather explore than bite. So let's see what she does when I tap her abdomen here. You can see that she has flicked hairs before. And but as you can see, she's not ready to molt yet, because the abdomen is not dark yet. Let's see if she would like to come out. Say hello. You know you want to. And she's What? Don't you like the warmth of my hand? All the other teas do. Aren't they precious? I mean, look at that. See, her abdomen's not even dark yet, so she's not in pre-molt yet. They're a little skittish. But she's never given me a reason to not hold her as far as defensiveness goes. She's never shown any signs of defensiveness yet in my care. Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, I'm willing to touch her and hold her if she's in the mood for it. But let's see. There we go. Yeah. Come on. Don't you want to say hello? Hello. Isn't she precious? Look at that. You can tell that she's a hair flicker, although she hasn't yet. She's webbing all over the place though, making her web line. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've heard when teas do this, when they're out and about, they're kind of, that's their way of helping themselves to find their way back home. So that way they don't get lost, I guess. I don't know. But there's that one. So it wasn't a true handling video, but I was able to touch her at least. She's doing great. Alright, let's go check on someone else. And here's my Bumba Cibola. Another very hair flicky tea in my collection. And these are gorgeous. This one, as you can see, is not really one to sit still. I have to redirect her where I want her to go. Look at that. Gorgeous. They like it a little bit on the damp side, and I can see she's dried out a little bit, so I'm going to need to fix that. Give her some more water. They're just gorgeous though. Look at that. So yeah, I would classify these as being a little on the skittish side, but not enough to deter me from holding her. And yeah, I do think this is a female. It's a suspect female. Look at that, man. I'm always so happy to see these in the collections because I don't see them enough. And when I do, I get really excited. This specimen's only about 2.5 inches. She's not far off the ground, so she will not harm herself. She's like me, she doesn't want to be on camera too long. Alright. Well, we'll put her up and see who else we can say hi to. And here's my Brekkie Bumba Smithy. Looking gorgeous as ever. This one is about 2 inches, maybe barely over. Very hair flicky, but Brekkies are known for that. But because you see there's not a whole lot of hair missing, I don't tamper with this one much. I just, like I said, don't like to handle my teas very often. But some you could just do minor maintenance to their enclosure while they're in there, and they'll flick hairs at you even when you're not touching them. Like my LP, for instance. But yeah, very sweet, very shy. It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's alright. Mama's not gonna hurt you. I'll go ahead and put this one back. Very nervous. She's very shy. It actually took some effort to get her out. Not that she was all that runny, but you could just tell she wasn't really in the mood to come out, but she wasn't defensive. So I'll just go ahead and put her back in. But she's awesome as ever. Alright, moving on. And here's my smaller Brekkie Bumba Peloso. This is my male. Doing great. This is another one I'm going to rehouse pretty soon to get it out of that square enclosure that I didn't like, that has that top to it that I don't like. So I have to go buy another enclosure for this one. This one's about 2 inches. Well, about the same size as the Bumba Smithy that you saw last. So cute how even this small they show their curly hairs. Very friendly tarantula. She'll let me pet her too. She's very nice. Do it very gently. I got substrate on the end of my thumb. Yeah, very nice. Very handsome fella. So there's only 2 T's that I know for sure are males in my collection. The Trickus Pruians and this one right here. Got a good molt from this one, so I was able to sex it. And I did not see the spermatici. Is that how you say it? Alright. Let's see what else we got to show. This one had a name change not too long ago. It used to be called the Paraphysa scrofa, but apparently it's now called the, let's see, Trickus scrofa. I'm even pronouncing that correctly. But, yes. Very nice looking tea here, too. This one is only a inch. Very sweet tea. The classic mirror patch there on the abdomen. Just like all the other of this genus. Or I don't know if they all do, but very cute, aren't they? Yeah, spread out there. There we go. To me, they almost look like the Grammostola rosea red color form, except with the mirror patch. But, yeah. This is one I keep wondering is going to molt on in the not too distant future. But we'll see. Alright, let's move on to some Avix. Here's my beautiful Avicularia. You gonna poop on me? That's what they do as a defense mechanism. They point their butt at you and they shoot poop with great accuracy, I might add. They also can just suddenly bolt on you if you startle them, and they're gone. They'll move like really slow, like it was, and then zoom, they're gone. So you have to be careful, you know, just to stay calm. I think Avix are probably the cutest of all the tarantulas. Very sweet teas. This is the tarantula that's missing part of a leg. It was like that when I bought her, definite female. Very cute. This particular specimen is about 3 inches. Very sweet tea. Alright, let's go check on my next Avic. I really didn't want to keep prodding her since I think she's still in pre-molt, but this is the Avicularia urticans. Still doing just fine. I keep hoping it will molt, but she is taking her sweet time about it. But still alive and well. Beautiful as ever. Alright guys, I think I'll go ahead and end this video now. I've rambled long enough and molested my teas long enough, and stay tuned for hopefully a feeding video of the slings and maybe even a few juvies next. Alright guys, thanks for watching.